Hello everyone. So for today's video, this is the first video in a three-part series. You can see me here. I'm just trying to find the middle of this paper. It is a 12-inch by 18-inch paper, and I'm going to be creating 3 mandalas on it. And I'll be doing one for each video. And you can see that little piece of black cardstock that I put down there. I just did that because the paper that I'm actually going to be drawing on is very thin, and if I were to just stick the point of my compass on there, it would put a hole right through the paper. So I'm using a piece of cardstock as a little buffer, I guess you could say, so that there's no hole in the paper. Overall, today's video took 3 hours and 47 minutes. The mandala that I'll be creating today is actually just half of a mandala, and it measures 12 inches wide by 5.5 inches high. So it's not too big, but yeah, it was a lot of fun to create. I love making mandalas. I think they're a lot of fun. I know that I don't usually record me setting up these circles and things like that with my compass. Usually I start my videos right when I'm starting to draw the mandala with pens, but I had a lot of people requesting that I record that part, this part of me drawing all the circles, but hopefully this is going to be the only time that I show this, because I don't usually like to show this part because it doesn't really show up very well on camera. So here I am just creating the angles on my mandala that I'm going to be working on for the day. And yeah. Yep. I used 10 degrees and went all the way around that half circle there. And then now I'm marking at 5 degrees just because when I go further out, I want to make these sections a little bit smaller. So I divided the outer rings in half. Yep. That's what I'm doing here with my ruler. Alright, now I got my pen in my hand. Yay! This is a Marvy Le Pen multi-liner pen, and I like it. It's not bad. It's not quite as good as a Pigma Micron, but it works. It puts black on the page, which is the whole purpose, and it does come in everything from an 003, which a Pigma Micron does not come in, all the way up to brush pens and things like that. So it's decent. It costs, I think it was $1.50 per pen, which is pretty good compared to the Pigma Microns, which are $2.50 per pen. So that's a whole dollar cheaper. So I was just on the Jet Pens website. That's where I order all of my planner pens. And I saw these on there and I was like, oh, I'll try these out. So I grabbed the set, and that's what I'm using for today. Mostly because I don't have any Pigma Microns right now in 05s or 08s that work really well. And I figured out why my Pigma Microns are going bad so quickly. And it is because I use them with my rulers. And I should have figured this out a long time ago, but it took me, what, 2 years now to figure out that you shouldn't use your Pigma Microns with a steel ruler because it'll ruin the tip. I guess I'm not very brilliant, but it should have taken me 2 seconds to figure it out, not 2 years. But anyways, now that I know, I won't do that anymore, right? Later on in this video, you will see me using my Pigma Micron pen with a ruler. That's because that Pigma Micron pen is already ruined anyway, so why not you just go ahead and keep ruining it, right? Anyways, yeah. The hardest part of creating mandalas is figuring out what to do next, and you can see that there are a few times on here that I'm just kind of tapping my pen on the page. That's where I'm kind of trying to figure out what the heck to do. So I usually tap my pen on the page for about 5 seconds and then press pause on the recording and sit there for another 5 minutes until I figure out what to do next. Just pulling you through my thought process during this drawing time. There's really not much I can update you on here. You can see that I'm creating a mandala, and it took forever. At least it felt like it took forever. Maybe it didn't. I don't know. Actual drawing time was 3 hours and 47 minutes. Did I mention that? But if you want to add thinking time to that, I was probably there for a good, I don't know, 6 to 8 hours. Long enough for it to feel like forever anyway. So, yeah. And you can see I just messed up. I made my pen go outside the line, so now I have to fix everything. And you're going to see me mess up again right there. Oops, didn't mean to do that. So now I have to go back and make all the V's long again. I didn't want to do that. I had something in my head and I messed up. And that is a very frustrating thing to have happen when you're drawing. You have an idea, but your pen slips, and now you have an extra line that you have to figure out what the heck to do with it. But normally I would want to rip it up and throw it away, but creating the whole circle thing and creating what I've done so far took forever, so I wasn't about to throw it away. I was going to have to figure out how to make it work, and I think I did. Doesn't look too bad. I like it. This design is called W2. You can find that on tanglepatterns.com. That's where I get some of my patterns from. Not all of them, but some of them. Did I mention that? Just some of them, not all of them. Yeah. W2, also called Huggins, I think. But I think that one's a little different than the W2. But anyways, that's what it is. If you want to look it up, you can go ahead and check it out on tanglepatterns.com, where I get some of my patterns, but not all of them. This is actually my one regret for this mandala drawing is I didn't really want to make it this long. I don't know what I'm talking about. It's 4:30 in the morning when I'm recording this audio, so yeah, I'm not high and I'm definitely not drunk. I'm just tired, and I don't really know what to say for 13 minutes, especially when I've updated you everything that's going on in my life. But what I meant was I didn't want that W2 pattern to take up as much space as it did. I should have only gone up 3 squares, but I went up 4, and although it doesn't sound like a big deal, it took up a lot more real estate than I had planned for it. So anyways, and this part I don't like either, so overall it would sound like I don't like it. And to be honest with you, once I got done drawing it, I didn't like it. I was pretty close to throwing it away and starting over, or starting a whole new project. But then I decided to keep on going, and I added a lot of dimension to it, which you're going to see in a few minutes. And I added a bunch of shading, and I like the end result. So even the lesson here is that even if you don't think you like what you're drawing, keep on going, plugging through, even if you hate it, and add some shading, add some color, which there is no color in this one. Add color, add shading, add dimension, and you might end up really liking what you have, because I really like the end result of this one. I can tell you that much. I really do. Yep. What do you want to talk about now? I don't really know what to say. You want to say? My daughter's sitting next to me, and she's trying to hold in her laughs. She thinks I'm talking silly, and I don't know why. I mean, hi. Say hi.
Hi.
There's Allison. She's awake at 4:30 in the morning too. We're not just waking up. We haven't gone to bed yet. We're just chit-chatting. We wanted to talk about stuff, and she kept making me think of topics. So we talked about orchids for a little while, and I kept trying to get her to talk about cows, but she didn't want to. So we talked about orchids, and what else did we talk about?
Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad. She wouldn't let me talk about Dexter either. She just says I talk about Dexter too much. Here I am. I'm adding more dimension to my drawing. I'm just thickening some of these lines and adding a little bit more detail to it, so it's not all flat looking and one note and crappy. Yeah, this adds a lot of an interesting. Maybe I'll learn how to talk someday. This adds a lot of dimension to it and adds just a more interesting look to the overall drawing. Do you agree?
Sure.
Do you guys agree? I agree, obviously, because I said it. I don't even know if I'm going to keep this audio. Honestly, I tried starting this video probably 50 times, and Allison kept picking on me because I start off every single one of my videos with, "Hello, everyone." And she was picking on me for it. But what else am I supposed to say? How are you supposed to start a video? Hey, y'all. What's up? How's it going? I don't know. I think hello, everyone works pretty well. Yep, I'm continuing to add dimension. Just tracing a bunch of those designs. Look at how much better that looks compared to the way it looked 3 minutes ago. Here I smartened up and I realized that it was going to take me 6 years if I kept going with this pen that I was using, so I grabbed a much thicker Sharpie marker to accomplish the same look in a much shorter amount of time. Yeah. I got smart for a second. Doesn't happen all the time, but it happens sometimes. I don't really know what else to say to you guys, to be honest. Especially since I was really hoping that the shading would start by now. That way I could talk about that, but it hasn't started yet, and it's taking forever to get here. These are just triangles. Hey, did you see my hair right there? Yep. Just tracing the triangles over and over again. There's a million of them. A whole million of them.
You can talk about Pac-Man.
Pac-Man! No, we're not going to talk about Pac-Man. We're like 5 minutes past Pac-Man.
Oh.
If you go to the beginning of the video, my daughter thinks my hands look like Pac-Man when I'm creating the triangles. Oh, look, I'm shading! Yay! This is going to make everything look so much prettier. Look, watch. It's like magic, I swear. People think I'm kidding, but I'm really not. It really does make a whole lot of difference. That's why I'm nice and close up in here so you can see it close up. Oh my god. I can't keep this audio. Oh my.
You have to! It's so funny.
Oh my god. Alright. Alright, yeah, I'm adding lots more shading. This is the magic shading blending stump. Makes everything nice and smooth. And some people who shall remain nameless on the YouTube community, some people think that blending stumps are just an easy way out, and they're not. There's nothing too technical about them and blah blah blah, which is true. Using a blending stump is very easy to do, but if you were to add hash marks or anything like that for the shading, it would take away from the design of the patterns on these mandalas and even the tangles and everything. So that's why I like the blending stumps. I don't want to add more lines if they're not supposed to be there. You're just going to get confused, and these things are intricate enough to get confused. So why would I add more to the confusion? Although apparently I like adding confusion to my audio, so I don't know.
That and you probably.
Hey, look! I'm all done. I'm going to pan right through it so you can get up in there and see everything that I created. Isn't it pretty? I really like the way it came out. It looks way better than it did before I added the dimension and added the shading, don't you think? There it is. I don't know how much longer I'm going to make you look at this, but yeah. It's beautiful. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not already. Leave a comment down below, and I'll see you again for part 2.